Hello everybody and welcome back to, I want to say episode 3 of the series I'm doing of finishing every series I am currently in the middle of. Right now I have 3 books, 2 of which I can actually just complete the whole series. Don't quote me on that. I do have 3 books, like I said. One I will be starting today is Isn't It Bromantic by Lyssa K. Adams. This is from the Bromance Book Club series. I believe I've read everything, or the only one that I need to read is the Christmas novella one, and that's it. So then I can check off that series. I'm taking this with me for my commute. The second book, I've been waiting for this for so long. I actually own the other books, but wasn't sure if I liked the direction that this series was going in, but this is the most recent release, and it's Shadowheart by Meg Gardiner. This is the 4th book in the Unsub series. She's an FBI agent. I thought it could have been like a duology following this one guy, the one Unsub, but we're just actually following the agent. I know that this release was delayed due to COVID, and it came out last year. It just took me really long from the library to get it, I think. This is kind of hefty. The pages are super thick. And then the last book that I have is actually from a series that I recently started, but it's a trilogy though, so it could be done really quick. It is another romance, but this is The Partner Plot by Kristina Forrest, the second book in the, what are their names? The Green Sister trilogy, I think what it is. The first book was The Neighbor Favor, which I actually finished last month and really liked. It's following the Green Sisters. The first one was Lily, the second one is Violet, the middle sister, and the last book is Iris following the oldest sister, kind of like Talia Hibbert's Brown Sister trilogy, which I highly recommend. Really love that trilogy. This seems like a second chance situation between Violet and Xavier. Xavier and Violet, they were high school sweethearts and they thought they would get married, and I think they were impulsive and end up getting married in a Vegas situation. I don't know, but this is also relatively new, so really excited. I need to continue this series, this video series, in order to cut down that number because I haven't been doing that. I have a little makeshift Sleepy Girl mocktail here with grape poppy, and I'm gonna settle in to read a little bit. I am 144 pages into Isn't It Bromantic, and I have like the wrong bookmark to be reading it with, since it's like literally mystery thriller vibes. It's a My Favorite Murder bookmark, but I'm a little bit confused. I was not aware that this was going to be following Vlad, because I thought that the Christmas novella would be following him, or maybe I just got things mixed up, but I haven't read one of these books in quite some time, so I'm a little bit behind. The Russian has always been like such a background character to me. Also, if you hear that, the rain is really going, so I never really felt like connected to him, to his character at all. This is interesting. He is in a marriage of convenience that has just been revealed. His wife Elena has recently asked for a divorce. They got married and he came to play hockey here, and they just, no one ever really understood their relationship. He lived in a different state to go to school, and she wants to go back to Russia now, where they escaped from, to be a reporter just like her, or a journalist just like her father. During a game he got really badly injured, and so Elena is coming home to take care of him. So there's a lot of mixed thoughts about that, because she's very nervous. She doesn't know about his life there in Nashville. She doesn't really know any of his friends, any of the people in the Bromance Book Club, so she just feels really like way out of her depth. Vlad is apparently like writing this love story, and they're going to try to help him get her back. They're very excited about this fact. I'm not really feeling any connection between the two of them. They were childhood friends, but it seems like they only shared a kiss solely for the sake of the marriage. They have not had sex or kissed any further. It was really just straight up a marriage for convenience, and I feel like if there was some sort of hint as to them maybe liking each other while they were kids, but there isn't, so I'm just not really feeling the romance so far. Last night I finished Isn't It Romantic, and I'm giving it 2.5 stars. I liked Vlad as like a background funny character, but I just wasn't really buying into the romance between him and Elena. I understood that they were childhood best friends, but I didn't feel like any sort of real deep connection between them, and they were just kind of like staying in the marriage to staying in the marriage, and that they were just starting to date. It didn't really feel like a second chance, even though it wasn't really a second chance romance. So it was nice being back in this world with all of the other characters and seeing them. I realized the little Christmas novella I already read, and it was following Colton because he's pretty important in this one. Him and Vlad seem like the closest of the two. But I actually did finish the series. I just wish that there was kind of like a better wrap up. I don't know, maybe if it wasn't Vlad. She wasn't intending on writing this. She wrote in the acknowledgements. I don't know. I don't believe in Vlad and Elena. Good morning. My hair looks crazy. But yeah, I slept with it in braids. And look, it held up. Isn't that amazing? Yes, I'm the girl with wavy hair that sleeps with it to do heatless waves. Okay, yesterday I started Shadowheart by Meg Gardiner. I feel like this is, I don't know if I want to say underrated, but a not super well-known series. It's following an FBI agent. I know a lot of people don't like cop mystery thrillers. I do. I grew up watching a lot of like police procedural shows and just really like the process of figuring out who the killer is, because I feel like I'm doing that myself. Never wanted to be a cop. Did consider being an FBI agent, but that's a story for another day. I couldn't really sleep last night, so I ended up reading like half the book. I read 166 pages, which I'm really happy with. The pages are really dense, meaning like the paper is really dense, so it just feels a lot heavier, a lot thicker, but it's only about 330 pages. I haven't read the other books in the series in a long time. This is following FBI agent Caitlin Hendricks. I feel like you could read this as a standalone. You might be a little bit confused, but I think it's doable. There is a serial killer who draws portraits of women that he claims to have killed in Tennessee. He is already arrested in prison. The police, the FBI, are taking these portraits to identify missing women and bring their families some justice and try to prove that he killed them. But back in New York, there is a new killer that is a copycat of his, or like an admirer. They're still trying to figure it out. So it looks like there are two serial killers that are locked in a rivalry, and Caitlin has to unravel that connection and figure out who they are. It's sort of interesting because similarly to some other mystery cop procedural books that I've read, there is some perspective from the killer themselves. It's a little bit eerie. So we're also following the point of view of Finch Winter, who is looking for the identity of her mother. She's adopted, and she believes that this serial killer murdered her mother, and that's the reason why she was adopted. At the point that I'm at right now, I have figured out one little bit of a clue about the new serial killer, the copycat serial killer, so it's getting a little bit more interesting. The dots are slowly starting to come a little bit closer to connect. I feel a little bit lost because, like I said, I haven't read the other books in years, and it took, I think, like 2 to 3 years for this one to be published because of COVID. It's like okay so far. I'm slowly starting to remember some clues, like with the man that she's with and the relationship that she has with her mother. I'm not sure how I'll end up rating this in the end. I feel like I could have read the other 3 books because it's been so long, but I'm not hating it. I ended up finishing this much faster than I had anticipated on my commute. I should have brought a second book with me, but I think I'm giving this 3 stars. It does finish in a way that the series is going to continue, but overall I don't think I will be continuing. I kept getting confused between Corliss and Landry. I felt like there was so much I wasn't really understanding about the case. Like I couldn't tell if the serial killer Good was part of another story and I was supposed to know who it was because there wasn't a lot of background in this. I thought it was a cool case, and the reveals definitely had me on my toes. I was flipping through the pages being like, what? Oh my god, like on the subway. But I don't know, didn't pack enough of a punch for me, and I might unhaul the series. Due to multiple train delays, I was able to read a lot of the partner plot last night. I read over 180 pages yesterday. I read on the treadmill today like 120 pages, so I actually have like really little of the book left. This book is following Lily from the first book, The Neighbor Favors, middle sister Violet, and her high school sweetheart Xavier. They were each other's first love, first a lot of things. They happened to meet in Vegas after not seeing each other after he totally broke her heart in college. They were 19 when they broke up. On a drunken night, got married in Vegas. She accidentally let it slip in an interview that they got married, even though they were just going to let it slide and like move on with their lives. It sort of turns into this marriage of convenience situation. It makes her look like good in the public again after her very public breakup after being cheated on. For Xavier, he wants to get a new job as an assistant coach at a college. The coach who is looking to hire him thinks he looks young, aimless, flighty, and being married makes him look good. So they decide to keep up the ruse while she is injured. It's really cute so far. Like, I like the little flashbacks of them. The prologue definitely starts out with how they first meet. It's very, very sweet. Their families like already know each other, obviously. So far, it seems like they're going to like legitimately actually try to make this work. They've given to their feelings and the attraction that they had for each other, but I'm not really sure what the conflict is going to be, although I feel like it might be that their marriage being fake becomes exposed. But so far I am liking it. I think it's really cute. I wasn't able to read yesterday, so I'm hoping that while I wait for a phone call, I am able to finish the last little bit of the partner plot. I still am really enjoying this. I just wish that they got married for real, so it seemed like there was an actual stake if something ended. Like, yes, they're planning to tell their families that they lied and that their marriage is fake. If they were actually married, there would also kind of be this reason to stay together and make it work and for it to be legit. Maybe it's because I also read Isn't It Bromantic, and I kind of thought about them being married already. They could just fall back into that pattern, which is interesting because I maybe didn't like that in them. Anyway, I really only have a little bit left. I was able to read 150 pages of this the other day, so I had been hoping to finish this. It's actually less. These are discussion questions. Right now, Violet is getting really scared, I guess. They are in love for real and are committed to each other, but it just seems like their lives are so different and aren't really going to go very well together. Xavier is really trying to make this work. He's looking into the longevity of their relationship and creating these plans, setting things up in place so that they could be together for the long term. But Violet's life is so busy. She's always jet setting off across the country because of the type of work that she's in, and she's just getting a little bit overwhelmed. I think it's really starting to freak out and catch up to her. I'm not really sure what the conflict is going to be. I guess that they break up when they tell their family for real. It seems a little bit too typical and there isn't that much left. So maybe I'm Anne in the third act breakup where she's like really debating whether or not this is something that she wants to do in the first place. I finished the partner plot the other day and I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I thought it was really cute. I think compared to Lily and Nick's story, I preferred that, and obviously we get to see some of that in this one because they are sisters. I did really like Violet and Xavier, but there was something missing to push it up to the 4-star mark. I really like the full circle ending of the epilogue, but something was missing. I can't really put my nose to it. I did really like their individual storylines. Violet trying to balance her work life and her personal life and trying to prioritize her health and well-being, and for Xavier feeling really lost in his life and not really sure what he wanted to do, and feeling like just because he moved back to his hometown he was stuck and he was trying to make up for something that nobody labeled him for, if that makes any sense. Nobody told him that he was any less than because he came back and decided to teach at his old high school, but he discovered he's on his own path and it's okay that he's just figuring it out, and maybe this is what he actually wants to be doing and he has this greater purpose, and returned there to inspire all of these young students again. I was able to check off 2 series off of my list because of Shadowheart and Isn't It Bromantic, which brings me down to 27 series. No way! This is really good. This is really good. Hopefully I can dwindle this number down to 20 by the end of the year. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Let me know how many series you're in the middle of, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!